this is why most men will never be attractive, and how to fix it. How do you become the top of the top, the cream of the crop, or at least more attractive than the average man? See, nowadays, I'm hearing a lot of complaints from men in society about how hard it is to get a date or how hard it is to get attention from women, when it's a lot more simple than what they make it out to be. And has it gotten harder in certain aspects with social media, with Instagram, in comparison, when you're an average man, comparing yourself to the people that flex on social media, that seem to be the top of the top, the cream of the crop, with their mansions and their monies and their Lamborghinis and all that stuff that people prioritize when it comes to material possessions and status. Sure, that adds another dynamic, especially when that guy can DM your lady whenever they want. Be like, hey, let me fly you out to Miami and show you a good time. Let me take you overseas and make you get on your knees. All right, anyway, enough of that. So this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're facing in society as average men. So how to get to the solution? How to become a king in our own reality and not even have to compare ourselves to those type of people? Well, I would say the first thing you want to do is focus on yourself, focus on mastering yourself, and become adequate in whatever relative skill set that you have. Something that you're passionate about, something that you can become good and adequate in, and start putting some efforts and start putting some time, money, and intention into that. Because when you think about it, who are women attracted to? They're attracted to people or men who are adequate, who have a high level of status within their relative community. So think about it like this. When you were in high school, who got a lot of the chicks? The athletes, the people that were on a high status. You know, whether it was athletes or anybody else. Same thing with college. The higher your status, the more you're putting yourself in a position to get chosen. Now, I'm not even saying that you have to be a celebrity, but find a way to become adequate in something. Set yourself in a good position to where you don't need to do as much chasing. The women choose you. If you work on your physique and if you get a good physique, if you grow long hair for over a decade, you'll get a lot of attention, and a lot of women will end up choosing you. Or even if they're not choosing you as straightforward as you may want them to be, it'll be subtle enough for you to catch on, or you won't have to work as hard to set a date and get their attention. Things will become easier the more adequate you get. So there's that. You have to become a king in your own reality, so to speak. So it's not about comparing yourself to other people, but becoming the best version of yourself. And that will bring on something else that I'll also mention, is mastering yourself internally. The stronger you are internally, mentally, and emotionally, the more attractive you'll be. The more you are strong and stoic and okay with yourself, and the less you depend on other people's validation, the stronger you will be. See, women, they're attracted to guys that aren't so needy, that are good with them or without them. See, don't put the vagina on the pedestal. You never want to put the vagina on the pedestal, because the more you put the vagina on a pedestal, the more you become a fan. And we're not trying to be fans. We're trying to become our own celebrities, our own kings of our reality. So, you don't want to do so much chasing. You don't want to do so much validation. You want to be okay with or without whoever you come across. And trust me, if you can figure out how to master that, the right women and the right people in general will come into your life. You will attract quality people. A lot of, man, even when guys get the women that they say they want, it often turns into toxic relationships. Why? Because after a while, that guy probably gets a little bit too needy. What does toxicity comes from? It comes from emotions. It comes from attachments. Like, I used to sit back and watch my friends argue, or my homies argue on the phone with their ladies for like minutes and hours. And I used to think like, bro, why are you even entertaining that? You should get to the point where you should be okay with letting anything go. If it gets to that point. Of course, try to work things out, but you know what I mean. Like, if it's causing too much stress in your life, when you do actually get that woman, if she starts becoming way too disrespectful, you gotta be okay with letting her go and understanding that there are more options out there. There are more people out there. There are more women out there, if need be. Because this thing all comes down to self-respect. That is the main thing. Self-respect. If you respect yourself, you will win. The person that cares the least wins in those toxic situations. But yeah, man, you have to be the greatest version of yourself possible. That's how you get a higher level of status. And it's not about comparing yourself to anyone else. It's about mastering your own reality. Because when you master your own reality, you are going to stand out in whatever room that you walk in. Because most people aren't mastering their own realities. Most people are just a bunch of followers. Most people are living their lives in stress and fear. And they're not reaching the highest versions of themselves. So when you are able to do that, relatively speaking, you become an anomaly. You become different. You stand out. So that's why I say something as simple as getting your body on point in a society where most people are obese or overweight. You are automatically stand out. You are automatically standing out. Because that's the number one thing that we have control of is our physique. Even if it takes time, we can get to it now and make a decent amount of change in 3 months. Maybe even less than that if we're committed. That's why I say, man, the first sign of adequacy is getting yourself in shape. And that is going to change your whole aura. It's going to change your whole energy field. It's going to change how people treat you, how people interact with you. And it'll bring more attention to you. That's the first step. Obviously, there's money and blah, 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 all that stuff. But, hey, man, if you get yourself some abs, you get yourself a six-pack, a nice physique, a nice chest, some arms, you're on your way to some places. But yeah, that's what I have for today. Feel free to comment below. Ask any questions. I offer coaching. I offer online coaching. I offer in-person coaching depending if you're in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. And I'm here to spread value. Getting in shape is a lot easier than people give it credit to. It just comes down to consistency and making sure you perfect the movements. Quality over quantity. You learn how to do a proper push up, it's going to develop the muscles that you need to develop in order for you to pop out and stand out. But push ups, that's just one example. You got squats, you got lunges, you got pull ups, you got all that. But yes, feel free to comment below. All my links will be in the description. And if you have any questions, if you have anything you want me to make a video about, let me know below. I appreciate y'all. Thank you if you made it this far for watching. Peace.